Okay, so far we have argued that the inference rules covered are sound. That means what we derived from the knowledge base are true, but we have not discussed the question of completeness for the inference algorithm. That means all the correct rules can be derived from the knowledge base. Search algorithms, such as iterative deepening search, are complete because they will find any reachable goal. But if the available inference rules are inadequate, that means some inference rules are missing, then the goal is not reachable. Okay, no proof exists that uses only those inference rules. That means if some inference rule is missing, can you derive that goal using other inference rules? There is no proof that exists. Like if we remove the biconditional elimination rule, so then what happens? If we remove the biconditional elimination rule, then we could not have derived the previous decision. That means, let's say from R2, we could not have reached to the R6 or other similar rules. Now, in this section, we'll talk about a single inference rule called resolution that yields a complete inference algorithm when coupled with any complete search algorithm. Okay, so resolution is something like combined of all inference rules and more. So we call it a resolution. Resolution. So it's very powerful, okay? Resolution is very powerful. It's a complete inference algorithm when coupled with any complete search algorithm, like a tree-based search we discussed earlier. So this section, we begin with a simple version, okay, of the resolution rule in the Wumpus world. Let us consider the steps which we discussed earlier, where we reached from R1 to R10, which are already here, R1 to R10, right? We have discussed that or derived that in the previous video. So we have shown that, how they work. So now we are trying to show that the agent returns from 2, 2, from 1, 2 through 1, 1, okay? And now it will go to the other cell, which is 1, 2. So it was in 2, 2, 1. So it is basically coming from 2, 1 to 1, 1, and now it will go to 1, 2. Okay, so that's the, and we are trying to prove that there is, there is no pit in 1, 2. We are trying to show that. The pit is in 3, 1. Basically, we'll show that. Okay, so how we show that? We are basically trying to show there is no pit in 2, 2. Okay, so how we show that? And there is pit in 3, 1. So let's see. So now we will start with, earlier we did the R2, if you remember. Now we will start with R3, okay, R3. So let's see how it works. In the same process like biconditional elimination, we are trying to show that there are no pits in 2, 2 and 1, 3. Okay, so we already know 1, 1 is pitless, right? 1, 1 is pitless, we already know because we started by the rule of the game. We know that 1, 1 is pitless. You see this one, right? So what we do now, we are trying to derive biconditional elimination R3. Earlier we did on R2. So now we'll start with R3. So if we do biconditional elimination on R3, R3 is also given here, which is B21 implies this. And if I apply the same thing, so you already know that R11 does not have any breeze, right? No breeze. The percept is there. So this is, and also R21 by the rule of the game, if there was a pit, then there will be breeze, right? Let's say for the time being, B12 by conditional P11 or P22 or P13, which is very similar to R3, right? Like if there is a breeze, that means there is a pit in the nearby cells, which are P11, P22, and P13, which is like if there is a breeze here, then there will be pit here or here or here. That's exactly written there, right? So now we are trying to show from R12 by biconditional elimination what happens. You see, B12 implies P11, P22, P13, and P11 or P22 or P13 implies B12, which is biconditional elimination. So remove biconditional. So then what we did, we removed AND, okay, remove AND or AND elimination. By AND elimination, we kind of remove this part. Let me use a different color. So we remove this part and then only select this part. So P11 or P22 or P13 implies B12. After that, we can use contraposition, right? Contraposition is here. Alpha implies beta is equivalent to not beta implies not alpha. Okay, so this one, contraposition. So when we apply to this, we get from this step, not beta 1 2 implies not of this thing. And then we apply modus ponens, because in R11, when we went to B12 and the agent went to B12, we already found there is no breeze, right? So like this, you see, no breeze. When we go to 1 2, we find there is no breeze. So this is correct, right? No breeze. So when we get not that one, so that's what I did. R11 is no breeze in B12. So we use that information. So that means this is correct, right? This is correct. So by modus ponens, if this is correct, this implies this is correct, then this must be correct. So then we go here, and now we apply, open this using De Morgan's law. We said not of A or B is basically not A and not B. You see, this is De Morgan's law, right? This thing. So we apply this, and then we get not P11, not P22, and not P13. But by R1, we already know that P11 does not have any pit by the rule of the game as well. Okay. So if this and this are true, then individually they are also true. So we get R13 and R14, which is individually they are true. Okay. So see, that's what we tried to prove here, and we could prove that no pit in 2 and no pit in 1 3. We continue a little more on this, and we say that from R3 we find, if we do the biconditional elimination and elimination, you see from R3 we get biconditional elimination, this step, and then and elimination, this step. Then we get B21 implies this. Okay, so now if we apply modus ponens, because B21 is already true, right? See, R5 says B21 is true. So this one is also true, the right side, P11 or P22 or P31, that's R15. So that means if P11, P22 and P31, either of them or all of them have pit, and I already know that P22 does not have any pit, then the pit must be in P11 or in P31. Now on this R16, again we apply resolution with respect to R1 this time, which is saying that P11 does not have any pit, which is by the game's rule. So that means this is also resolution. So because there's a negative literal P11, negative P11 by R1, so that means what remains is R17, which is P31. That means there is a pit in 3-1. So you see, this deduction is same as what we did here in English sentence, that if there is no breeze when we are at 1 2, cell 1 2, then it means that the pit is only at 3 1. See, that we actually proved with respect to the inference rules and basically the resolution. This is the most important factor here. We'll come back with more details for resolution.